So we have some questions here that I think are good for listeners to kind of see if you have this in place well enough, or if you maybe have something in place, but it's time to revamp it. So let's go through some of these. Um, how many leads do you currently have? Do you feel like, people can answer that question pretty well, or is it always a guess?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
I'm going to say it's nothing is always, but it pretty much always a guess.
Yeah.
People can tell me top of mind, most recent, biggest, most interesting,
Yeah.
closest to close, whatever. But if you pursue it a little bit, oh yeah, oh, no. I also got this, right?
Yeah.
I also need to call. I got to tell one on myself. People ask me frequently, how many clients do you have? And honestly, I'm just sitting here right now. I don't know. Have I
Mm.
got any clients listening? I love all of you, but I don't know. I got to look. But I
Right.
also dumped that out
But
of
you
my
have a
head. I
place to
gotta
look.
look. I
You,
have a place to look,
yeah. You
but
don't know it off
without
the
it,
top of your head, but you know where to look.
w oh, I would not even attempt to do anything without knowing,
Right.
having a place to look. I
Yeah.
had to keep it straight.
And
So
I think
there's
that's the
always
point.
more leads than people pretty much always more leads, potential leads, more activities necessary with leads than people will tell you if you just ask.
Yeah. I think the main thing is, do you have a place to look at how many leads you currently have?
Yeah,
Right. What's the status of each of those leads? Are they just leads, or are some qualified, or some connected with, or some attempting to contact, or some we're waiting on? Um, and what's holding you up with each of them? Like, what's the next step with each lead? Do you know?
right,
Do you have a place to go look and find out what the next thing
right.
is? If you were to delegate it to someone on your team, would they know? Those are good questions.
And just kind of an example of that is you're waiting to bid a job, but you got to get the material quote from
Yeah.
a supplier, and they're back ordered on something, and the guy hasn't called you back, and so
Hmm.
it's taken a couple of days, and that bid could completely go away
Yeah.
uh, because you're too late. So what is it, and what steps do you need to take? And if you can't find out what the material cost is, you can call the customer back and say, "I'm waiting for this one number. Thank you for your patience, but I'll get to you within 30 minutes of getting this number."
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and that goes, so what does your customer know? Can you
yeah,
go and look
there
at
you go.
each opportunity and see what you've communicated with them, and what's the last thing that you've told them?
Right.
That's a huge one. A lot of times I can't remember what our last thing was. It a phone call? I think we talked on the phone on the way to lunch the other day, or, you know, got to keep that organized. Um, if someone on your team had to contact them, would they have the info, or would you have to find the info and send it to
Right.
them? Would they know
Right.
where to look? What did you promise the customer? Like, what's the promise that you have with them? Which bids are expiring this week that you sent out, that you've
Yeah.
already sent out? That's a good one to know. Uh, how much bid value did you lose last month? Is that something that you can answer without having to dig and dig and dig, but a really clear number that you can just pull it up? There it is, right there. Um, how do you track customer calls and emails? How many dollars do you have to bid to make $1? That's a little bit more in depth. But these are all questions that, you probably can't answer
Information.
if you're just keeping it all in your head. You know, you
Yeah.
got to have that one place, and that one place can't be you.
One thing I don't think I heard you mention goes along with how much did you lose? How many bid opportunities did you lose? Is what bid opportunities are sitting there?
Hmm.
Really good CRM will total up when you reach the point of bids and say, "Hey, I have a million, 2 million, 100,000, whatever prospective or
Yeah.
potential bids sitting in my queue right now." So it
Yeah.
gives you an idea.
Well, it allows you to set like really clear objectives for your sales team too. If you know that, hey, I really need my salesperson to be closing 30,000 a month in sales, then I know based on our history that he's got to send out $90,000 worth of bids or quotes to potential customers and GCs. So
Right.
now that's something that you can track. Hey, salesperson, you're not gonna be able to close all the time. I need you to get better at closing, but you have to bid 90,000 a month. No questions asked. We have to hit that metric. Here's how you can look. And then you can go and check it. And then when you have your one-on-one with that person, You can go and pull up that number. How are we doing? What's keeping us from bidding? What do we have coming up in the queue? Things like that, right?
Right.